This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey there, cat lovers. Welcome to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat. I'm your host, Dr. Catherine Prim, and I'm a small animal veterinarian and cat lover. I love to have a lot of fun on this show talking about all things cat and talking about cats and cat diseases and cat problems. But you know what? I've found it's very interesting to also meet cat people. So today I have a very interesting and fascinating guest with me, and he is called the Cat Copywriter, which is cool. So we're going to talk with Dan Reinhold about what it means to be the cat copywriter and all of the cool things that he does and what he wants to share with us about his cat history or catstory. And so we'll be right back with Dan.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat on Pet Life Radio. And as I told you, I have with me the cat copywriter, Dan Reinhold. Hi, Dan.
Hello, Dr. Cat.
So I want to learn everything about you. And so I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. So the first thing that I want to know, though, is how did you get to be a cat person?
Well, I didn't become a cat person as early as many people do. I didn't have the opportunity to have a lifelong love of them because my mother hated them with a passion. So I just assumed I did too. I mean, there was no interaction with cats. I never saw a cat to speak of unless I went to someone's house that actually had one. It wasn't until I was 29, actually, and in college, I came home from my summer job one afternoon and heard this strange sound, and the apartment was empty. My roommate wasn't there. I looked around and I came across this cardboard box sitting on the kitchen floor, and I opened it up, and inside there was this small black fuzzball with these little scrawny, wobbly little legs, making more noise than I would have thought something his size could do. And I looked at him for a minute, and he looked at me, still mewing, of course, and a cat. Wait a minute, I have a cat. I don't like cats, do I? What do I do with him? So the fortunate thing for both of us is that we had a full 3 months alone together. My roommate had left him to provide me company and moved back home. And she left me a little note to that effect. So we had a solid 3 months together. And, I really came to love little Dickinson. He really came to love me. And from there on out, we had 10 wonderful years together, which was a lot less than I would have preferred. And that's how I came to be a cat person. It only takes one.
That is so true. It only takes one. So maybe your mom just didn't have the chance to have a special cat in her life. So much like me, it sounds like I sort of had things happen that led me down the path that I'm on, along the way. And I look back and I go, that's why this happened. So maybe your roommate really started you on a path. So tell me about being the cat copywriter.
Being the cat copywriter. Well, initially, I started out as your ordinary run-of-the-mill pet copywriter for the pet industry. And it started to dawn on me that it really seemed as though the pet industry was just another name for the dog industry. I've had dogs. I've had several dogs since I was a kid, actually. But since my first, Spooky, it's been straight on through for over 30 years. So I realized I'd really rather be writing about cats and helping online cat businesses to satisfy every need and desire of cats. As you can see from my little friend up here, Captain Cuddles, he's fond of money. Actually, he's fond of his family's money. And he'd rather they spend it on him than these frivolous things like mortgages and bills and whatnot.
Right. Well, cats, they know how important they really are. So
They do. Strong sense of self-worth cats have, boy, let me tell you.
Absolutely. So
Tell me every day. Yeah.
You kind of you were a writer and you saw a need for specific cat content, which of course is kind of why this show exists. So that's very interesting. Tell me what you do, like some specific places where we could see your work or a specific project you've done that you like a lot.
Not in particular. One is currently paused its business. The other one I'm helping get started with their setup, and I'm not really allowed to say much of anything about. What I do is help online cat businesses with everything to do with their online presence and state of their website. Many business owners don't have the time or the inclination to deal with any of that, nor do they really want to. I just want someone to give them a hand with making sure that it performs properly and is efficient and actually encourages customers through the site to make purchases. So that's where I come in. My specialty is to do a comprehensive website content evaluation to assess the performance of the site, its efficiency, and its customer experience. So as long as customers have a smooth, frictionless experience, are able to find what they're after and get it and be satisfied, they'll come back and they'll tell other people the same. Go to the site. These guys were great. They treated me nicely, and I'd had no problems whatsoever. Because the fact of the matter is that 88% of people who land on a e-commerce or business site will leave if they have any issue whatsoever. Anything does not go right, they just say, well, that's fine. I'll go to another place. I'll go somewhere else. But they're lost forever.
Options. Yeah, exactly. So what do you think is the most challenging need for cats? I know what I think it is, but I bet you think it's the same. What do you think?
I genuinely believe it is the need for regular, ongoing, preventive health care, specifically, and most importantly, a comprehensive annual physical examination on a regular basis to properly track the cat's health, development of any conditions, any problems that may come up, early indicators of diabetes, let's say, or all of that. The reason for that is that 56% of household cats in the U.S. do not receive a comprehensive annual physical examination, blood work, updated vaccinations, so on and so forth. That's a real problem because cats, being cats, don't show what's going on with them. Consider the situation of the cats back in the wild. They were smack dab in the middle of the food chain. There were lots of little creatures they could eat underneath their spot, but there were lots of others waiting to eat them as the chain went up. So they learned to hide it all, and they don't show it to us until it's reached a critical point or it's even gone too far to save them.
I agree completely. Becoming educated about what our cats are trying to communicate with us has kind of been part of the mission of this show. And that is sort of why I wanted to have you come and talk with us, because you are familiar with a lot of cat businesses and you have a unique ability to kind of network all of us cat lovers into things that might could help us be better cat owners. So yes, cats are nonverbal, of course, and they do try to hide illness and they need regular preventive care. So people think, oh, my cat, he never goes outside. He seems fine. But you agree then that they could be hiding something and they need to see people like me, right?
Oh, yeah, they most certainly do. Well, fortunately, the general mindset among people who do have cats is shifting, perhaps not as quickly as I'd like it to, but it is, from considering them property to considering them family members. As property in the old days, like when I was a kid, your pet became sick or injured or that sort of thing. There was really no thought to, well, oh, geez, it's going to cost this much money to do this. Let's get it done. It was basically, well, okay, it's just a cat. It's just a dog. Let's put it down. That's just as far as it's going to go. So that was the prevailing attitude. And now, fortunately, that's turning around to where they're more valued and appreciated, especially in the past year with the pandemic, because people were with them so much more and learned to appreciate them that much better.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the positive things to come out of this entire pandemic, is that people became more tuned into their pets and realized that in the absence of other people, we still had our pets. And so that was like a, I don't know, silver lining maybe. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you some personal questions about your own cats and your own cat love. But first, we're going to take a quick message, so we'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There's no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat on Pet Life Radio. So Dan Reinhold and I are talking about all things cat and how he became the cat copywriter. And I promised that I would put him on the spot, but I want to know, Dan, do you have a cat now?
No, I have 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about them?
Well, let's see how many are here right now. Okay. My slightly wacky, formerly feral boy and one of my 2 14-year-old sisters are lying here beside me, sleeping as usual. God, what a life to be a cat. And they've got some interesting history. My 2 girls, as I said, are 14 going on 15, if they're not 15 already, for that matter. We came across from a friend who knew somebody else who was a breeder and said that these kittens that they couldn't keep because they didn't meet breeding standards. So basically, we were told either someone takes them, promises not to breed them, promises to get them spayed or neutered right away, or they would need to be destroyed because they wouldn't meet standards. And so we took them in when they were very young kittens and raised them from that point. And one's a rag doll. She's always been my special girl. In fact, she would run and jump into my lap from across the room if I just motioned her over, and she would just gladly just sit in my lap and purr while I petted her. And the other one's a little princess, basically. If we had a crown to fit her, she'd be wearing one. My boy, my tuxedo boy, and his name is Tuxie, came to us from someone who had basically trapped him from coming up onto their porch where they would leave food out for him. And they managed to trap him humanely and bring him in. Unfortunately, they had dogs, and they had big dogs. So this poor guy was kept in a room, isolated from them, and not socialized quite as well as he should have been. I mean, they did what they could, I'm sure. That stood. So when we first got him and brought him home, he didn't know what to do. And he was bouncing off the walls, attacking the other 2, and not really fond of us approaching him either. And now, a couple of years later, he's almost ready to be more of a snugglepuss. If I'm sitting on the couch, he'll actually jump up on the couch beside me and start to walk onto my lap of his own accord.
That's
so
awesome.
All the effort to socialize him and desensitize him for those years has been more than worth it, because he's making wonderful progress.
Awesome. That is such good news. Well, I know that there are some controversial issues in the cat world, and you had indicated to me that you might be okay to discuss some of these, but you don't even know what my opinion about these things are. But what about declawing? What is your opinion of declawing in cats?
Declawing is nothing more than mutilation. It's just wrong. The equivalent, as you would know, declawing is to lose your first knuckle, every finger, including your thumb. Imagine finding yourself in that situation and having to function that way. Not only your fingers, but the first knuckle of your toes as well. And the effect it would have on your life overall. For cats, whether it's the front paws being declawed or the rear paws being declawed as well, creates serious problems for cats. It's a very painful situation because they're no longer able to walk properly. But there's also the drastic nerve damage, the possibility of bone spurs remaining in the wounds that heal over and creating issues there. The fact that they're not able to carry their weight properly because of this situation, and that creates other problems within them. And it's just plain wrong. And it's something that's still legal in the United States. Many states have banned it, but not all of them. However, there are dozens of countries around the world that have banned it outright and said, nope, no way, don't do that. That's inhumane, that's cruel, that's wrong. That's not the way to go.
Well, so it would be interesting and dramatic if I said that I did not agree with you. And we could argue, but I totally agree with you. And I do not perform that procedure. And fortunately, I work at a fear-free certified animal hospital, and the fear-free organization has banned that practice for all of their certified clinics. So not only do I not do them, and I haven't for years and years, but no other fear-free certified clinic will in the future be doing those. So we're definitely making changes in the right direction. But I 100% agree. Too bad we can't find something to argue about, just for the sake of media, right? But no, I agree with you on that.
I'm just too darn agreeable, I guess, Kat.
I know. Gosh, we have to work on that. So what do you think the value of cat-related people and cat-related businesses, what do you think the value of us communicating and banding together would be?
Oh, boy. It would positively affect so many areas. As it stands right now, many cat businesses, including my own, donate to cat nonprofits and help support the work that they do, whether they be a trap, neuter, release operation, animal rescue, a shelter, an organization conducting research, or what have you. But it would also help with a lot of the messaging that's vital to the well-being of cats, such as the ongoing preventative health care for them, getting the word out more about declawing, banding together to communicate with each other, talk to each other, learn how to help one another, because the situation is right now that cats are winning. Cats have pulled ahead in the pet industry in terms of numbers per household and revenue share. They are ahead of dogs. And with that development, after years of being considered the second class, I suppose, they've grown into more of their own. There's more research for them. Companies like Base Paws, amazing company. Anaskaya is just a force of nature, and what she's brought to reality for that company as far as the value of products in diagnostics and continued cat health. Others like Dr. Liz Bales of
I love
Dr.
her.
Phoebe's. Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're on an editorial advisory board together, so I get to talk to her a lot. She's awesome.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, she's been on the show, and yeah, she's pretty cool. You know a lot of cool cat people.
I try to.
I just want to say, cats rule and dogs drool, right?
Well, cats rule at least. Dogs might drool. Some dogs drool. No, it's not so likely to drool. And I'm enough of a kook about this that I was the first non-veterinary person to take and pass the first 2 levels of the American Association of Feline Practitioners certifications. Sometimes I think I'd like to take a shot at the veterinarian certification, but I'd probably be pushing my luck.
Well, for your free certification, they have a certification for non-veterinary professionals. Now, I don't know where that stands, but certainly, since I wrote some of those modules, I may not be objective. But yeah, so what if my listeners suddenly feel inspired or have a cat business and they want to find you? Can you tell us how we get you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn under Dan A. Reinhold, or probably could just type in cat copywriter and I'd pop up. My website is copyforcats.com. I apologize in advance. It's a bit of a mess right now because I'm drastically in need of an update, and I'm not really a techie type. So.
Well, I love that. I mean, I do follow you on LinkedIn and I watch a lot of your things, and I love your posts. And I think that my listeners would also like to try to find you. So again, that's Dan A. Reinhold or Cat Copywriter if you just want to, Google him or what have you. But it's been really fun to talk to you. I'm really glad that I found you on LinkedIn and started to see some of the things that you are talking about because, gosh, I agree with you a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to come on the show today.
I just like to mention, I also have the Cat Business Professionals networking group on LinkedIn that is starting to pick up steam, and we're going to be doing a lot more with that. Just this past May, I realized there were no cat holidays during the month of May. So being who I am, I decided I would declare May to be National Cat Business Day. So now it is. Apparently, there's no official way to do these things. You just sort of stand up and say, I want this.
So it's a cat holiday?
No, there were no cat holidays or observances or anything in the month of May.
Well, now we need one. Yeah.
So now we have National Cat Business Month. Unfortunately, I thought it after the start of the month, so I didn't get as far with it this year as I would have liked to. But
Next year.
Look forward to next year.
Next year. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It was really fun to talk to you and learn a little bit about you and what you do and why you think it's important and how to find you. So, and of course, I'm always grateful for my wonderful producer, Mark Winter, here on Pet Life Radio, who helps make 9 Lives with Dr. Cat happen and be as much fun as it is. And I want all of my listeners to go out and have a perfect day.
Let's Talk Pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.